All right, we're live.
Nice.
Hey,
Very
we
good.
did it.
We're back.
Yeah.
Most of us. No
Yeah.
John this week. John's on vacation in a secret space.
Yeah. Seems to be
We
having a
can't.
good time.
Yeah. So at least, yeah, that's what his Twitter sounds like. Sounds like he's buying some video games.
Just relaxing. Just got away
Yeah.
from it all.
Yeah. So no John this week. Do you know how long his vacation is? Is he back next week?
Yeah, he should be back next week. Yeah.
Cool.
I believe he's coming
Nice.
back on Monday.
Right on.
Or maybe Sunday. Yeah. Yeah.
But what about you? What have you been up to this week?
This has been kind of a busy week, so I'm just tired. I'm just
Oh yeah.
I'm just mentally done, but it's the weekend for me now, so this is always the start of the weekend for me, and it's a pretty good way to start it. It is a little unfortunate that we talk about stuff before the weekend because I play stuff over the weekend, and sometimes I forget everything I did for the next one.
Sure. You need like a Monday night show or something.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, too bad.
Yeah. So it goes.
I mean, that's similar for like all of us because we probably all get the majority of our gaming done on the weekend. So.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But the nice thing about this schedule is we get most of the news.
That's
as opposed to like waiting a few days.
A lot of news breaks on like Thursdays and Wednesdays for sure, so it's pretty good. It feels like we're usually talking about something that just dropped, or it's like the awards are happening the night that we go live, so or like something like that.
True. Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah. What about you?
Let's get into it. Oh yeah, what about me?
This
I'm
week.
trying to think. I don't think anything's been going on with me really. No, I don't have any fun stories or anything going on.
Okay. Yeah. Nope. It's one of those weeks. It's a February week, so
it's just a normal. I guess by the time this show next week, it'll be past Valentine's Day. You doing Valentine's plans?
No, I never do. We do like random spontaneous stuff throughout the year. We don't pay extra like seating charges or have to make anything.
Is that a thing? Is it like more expensive to go out on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it can be, depending where you go. So it's, or like even if you can find a spot, it's just not worth it for us. We'll wait like a week and then do it.
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever really done anything on specific Valentine's Day, and usually I'll say to like my partner, like, do you want to go out like, a couple of nights before or after, and then we don't have to deal with crowds. So I don't think I've ever done something on Valentine's Day.
I've definitely tried to before, and it was a nightmare trying to plan it because it was, I wouldn't say last minute, but like a month before, and people are like, oh no, you had to book like 3 months ago for Valentine's Day. It's like, oh, okay, it's like that then. Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I
don't know. I feel like
boomer
I don't
mentality,
think I even
man.
know anyone. I don't think I know anyone who even like takes it seriously.
It's all like traditional like old people thing. Like they need that one day to show that they like care about their significant other, and that's the one day they need to do it, so they got to make sure they buy the like it's just
like that day and like their birthday, and then they get the rest of the year off.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of them forget the birthdays as well sometimes, but yeah.
Sure.
The pro move is to have a calendar and then like mark off just random stuff. Like this is the first time.
A calendar, like an actual calendar?
No, like a Google calendar. You just write down.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who owns an actual calendar. My mom.
Yeah, I'm sure my parents do too. Maybe. I don't know. Actually.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's do the podcast. Enough of this Valentine's Day stuff. Top-down perspective. February 9th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
Before we get into it, I want to remind everyone over on the Patreon, we have a cool bonus podcast coming up at the end of the month where every patron gets to submit a game, and then the 3 hosts are going to rank every single game from best to worst. You get 1 submission, make it count. We already have a ton of submissions. I think we're up to about 28 games. So that's already going to be a big list, but we have more than twice that many patrons. So like, I want everyone in there. Like, get in there, give us a game, make this like the more games you guys submit, the longer podcast you get. Like, so
Oh God.
you get more content
Yeah.
if you submit more games. So if you haven't submitted yet, make sure you do that. You have until the end of the month to do that. But it's going to be a really fun podcast. And if you want in on that, every tier of the Patreon will get you some kind of access to it. So go check out the Patreon if that sounds like a cool podcast. Are you excited for it?
Maybe. I'm excited for the conversations that might come out of it more than I am I'm just gonna be real with you. I don't care about the tier part. I'm excited to like have a conversation of why this thing and this thing might it's the conversation I'm excited for. Like
that's the whole point. Yeah,
I don't care about the tier part necessarily. It's just going to be the thing that like drives weird conversations.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun time.
And while you're at it, maybe tell some friends so we can make it, just like for my OCD like tendencies, a perfect top 100 games. Get some more.
That would have to be a lot of friends.
Get some friends in that Patreon to submit something so we have 100 games.
We're pretty far off that. That would be a lot of friends. But I will also let people know, if you're at the top tier of the patrons, the submission thread is live for March's poll. So go submit a game, and we'll put that poll up next week.
Sweet.
But stuff going on now. Paul, what have you been playing?
I finished Hi-Fi Rush. Like, I wrapped that up completely. That game is pretty back heavy with boss type stuff, which I'm down for. Like, the last few missions was like, oh man, there's just like thing after thing after thing happening. This is pretty sweet. And then that final boss is kind of a motherfucker. He's kind of difficult, but yeah, it's fun. Right. That game's great. That's I'm easy top 10.
I'm glad to hear that it gets more bosses, because those are probably my favorite parts.
It definitely felt to me like there was a point where I was just like, are we gonna get another one? Because it's been a couple stages now, and it hasn't really seemed like I got... Yeah, they come pretty hard and fast by the end. The last half, cool. I would say.
Cool. I think I finished the second stage, so I've only played like one. I'm doing like one a week somehow. Sure.
That game is still just incredible. I really, really like that game. So good. The other thing I've been doing is it's Next Fest for Steam, which if people don't know or forgot, is kind of like a week-long thing where Steam encourages a bunch of its developers to put out demos for stuff they have coming down the pipeline, so people can kind of like just try a bunch of stuff and get hyped for some games or whatever. So
do you have some like highlights you want to point out?
I do. I've just got to quickly find the list of games because I've been deleting them as I went, but like I wrote them down, so I'm gonna quickly look for that. Why don't we talk about your stuff quickly, because I played one of them as well. That's kind of part of this.
Yeah, we can talk about that one then. Sure. Rhythm Sprout.
Yeah.
I had a few people, yourself included, on Twitter recommending it.
Yeah.
And what did you think? A code showed up in my inbox, so yeah, I redeemed that.
Cool.
It's okay. It's basically Rock Band Blitz.
Okay.
Which, I liked Rock Band Blitz. And for those who don't know what that means, it's it's a rhythm game. There's, unlike Rock Band Blitz, this one has one track chart, but you're using the controller, so you're using like the A button and the down and one of the D-pad buttons. I'm using left. A and left are my left and right.
Right. Okay.
And then right bumper is the I guess the third one that's a little more rare that pops up, and you hit them in time. The note track comes down and you do it. There's one thing that it's just, I don't even know how to classify it. I guess it bugs me. Like, it's not even like bad, because I understand the design decisions, but it just doesn't sit well. It's uncomfortable.
Okay.
So the songs that they'll make you play, they don't have an actual end, right?
Right.
The end of the stage is when you reach when you complete the physical distance of I have hit enough notes, the character has stepped forward enough times, I am at the end.
Right.
As a result, the game doesn't really know where the character is in relation to which second on the song it is, right? Because it has to take account that if you miss notes, the character is not physically moving forward.
Right.
So your character is not in sync with the song. And as a result, there are parts of songs and stages, I should say, where you will hit some kind of like distance marker, whether that's the end of the stage, whether that's an enemy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And as a result, because the song doesn't know where the character is in relation to it, it's not like you're going to reach that part on like a beat, on like a specific, like at the end of the song, you're going to finish the stage. That's not how it works. Or you're not going to reach an enemy like as the chorus begins or as the beat, the bass drops. It's nothing like that's going to happen. So the game has to keep feeding you notes in case you keep missing them.
Right.
So you'll get to one of these moments and the game will like stop or do a short little animation transition. Like now you're into a fight, but there's more notes headed towards you, but they just ignore those.
Yeah.
Because, you don't actually need those. You just need to get to this point. So I'm sitting there being like, all right, 3 coming. Oh no, I guess I'm okay. I'm in a fight now. And it's just uncomfortable.
There's a few things like that. So if you pause the game for any reason at all as well, it doesn't do like a countdown, like a 3, 2, 1. It doesn't do like even just like, I don't know, rewind it like a step or something. It just picks up again right where you paused it in the middle of the thing, which can lead to some situations of, oh, I guess I'm just going to wait until like this bar is done or whatever so I can get back into the rhythm of this. Like
Sure.
there's a few optimizations I think that are probably just quality of life things that should be in every rhythm game that this game kind of doesn't have in that regard.
That one I can agree with. That's like that's something that has been fixed on Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Like
For
they
years.
fixed that.
Yeah.
Mine though, I understand that they can't design around it because they've decided to, the way they've built it is you need like, because if like worst case scenario, the player stops playing, the song continues on, so they have to keep feeding you notes. Like I don't know how they fixed my issue. It's just you decided to design your game like this, so you are stuck with this one kind of weird quirk.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you would do, like maybe after a certain amount of notes, it will always like transition to another part of the song that makes that lead up a little more satisfying or better. I'm not sure either. I'm not a developer.
I think what you kind of have to do is you would have to kind of flip the whole thing, and instead of like the character moves forward on the successful note beat, it's the enemies are always coming towards you, and no matter what, the enemy will encounter you at this moment.
Yeah.
So that they have to reverse it. But this really becomes an issue. At the point I'm at is the beginning of chapter 3, meaning I did the first boss.
Okay. Yeah.
In that boss fight, it's basically they wrote 1/3 of a song, and then they double sped it, and then they triple sped it. So you play the same kind of like, I don't know, 45 seconds or whatever 3 times. That's the boss fight.
Sure.
When you walk and you reach the boss, they have to they put like a weird beat there and then send you all the way back.
Yeah.
And it just sounds awful because they're literally just like, oh, we need to restart the song right now. So they just slam a note in there audibly. And it's like, this is like, it doesn't even sound like a cool bass drop or whatever. They just like, no, we need to make a sound that we're restarting everything. And it's just like and restart it again. And I was just like, wow, this is why this is an issue right here.
And that like, not only is that an issue, but it's also a missed opportunity on top of that, where it could have been really cool that when you start fighting the boss, that's when the bass drops really hard and you're just like, oh shit, now it's on, sort of thing.
Well, that's the problem, because the game doesn't know at what point in the song you will fight the boss.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. I think that game is really, so I really like the conceit of you're just like traveling, and it's kind of like a weird back and forth, almost like you're controlling, the beats are like your legs moving or something, and every now and then you have to put in another beat that's a dodge action, essentially.
Right. The beats aren't one-to-one with your legs. The character's always moving.
Yeah.
So that's another kind of weird thing is like, oh, you kind of went for it, but only like halfway.
It becomes more so later on when the beats get like really fast. So
Sure.
it looks a little better in that regard. But yeah, it's not 1-to-1, so it is off. I do like the feeling of kind of like you on the controller going back and forth, like, and it doesn't matter which button you hit as long as like you're hitting a D-pad button or a face button here. Feels kind of
good. I like
good.
that. I'm not a huge fan of the right bumper because it means I have to kind of rotate my right hand just a little bit off where I typically hold it because I need to always have my finger up there.
Oh, I see.
Like there's like I'm holding my controller 100% normal, but no, this game I can only hold it 95% normal. So it's like just a little off of like, oh, this is okay.
It's interesting because I always have my fingers on the bumpers because I use a PlayStation 4 controller, and I've always held a controller that way, so I don't notice that. But what I do notice is that hitting a D-pad like button and the bumper like right after breaks my brain because there's not many games that do that.
And I had to really decide, do I want to do left bumper or do I want to do right bumper? And I ended up going right bumper, but yeah, it is kind of weird.
I think you could do either as long as you hit one
you
of
can,
them.
but you should, as like a player, decide.
Yes.
So that you build up the muscle memory.
Totally, yeah. I went with right as well because it felt more natural to me. But yeah, there's weirdness about it. I think the writing is cuter than I thought it would be. Like, I actually quite enjoyed some of the dumb little gags in it. Everything about it I thought was just charming. Like, it was good.
What stuck out with me with the writing is it's just overcooked.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like, but I even thought like, wait, this isn't by the developers. No, it's not. But you literally start in like the throne room. You have a vegetable-based king talking directly to you. Your character, you are looking at them from behind the back. It is a 1-to-1 exact shot of how Overcooked starts all of their games.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Like it is just, it's like there is just one too many things that is exactly the same where it's like, this could not have been a coincidence. Like you just took Overcooked and switched the Onion King to like a Broccoli King.
Yeah.
That's like, it's like, what? But it's not the same developer. Like, what?
Is it the same? Is it does Tiny Build do Overcooked? They don't, right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Like, there's no, like, all I can think is they were just like
inspired by it or something.
Yeah, they just, like, I don't even know, because it's just like, it is weirdly close to like the exact same thing. Like, you guys didn't do like anything different. Like, this is all you did was swap out the characters. You might have as well have stolen this.
I'm okay with it as somebody who doesn't play Overcooked. So I'm totally fine.
It just seems weird.
It is kind of weird.
Like it just really was kind of, I was put off a little bit by that. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think this game is actually fantastic. I thought it would be just kind of a thing that it's like, yeah, we'll play this. We'll see how like far I get into it, if I get into it at all. Because I had just finished Hi-Fi Rush. It's like, am I really going to do another rhythm game right now? Like, come on. But it's so different in the way it does rhythm game than Hi-Fi Rush that it's fine.
It's a whole different thing. Yeah. And I was kind of like, I'm playing a lot of very narrative heavy games right now, so I was just like, I need something kind of arcadey.
Yeah, it's very.
I have Hi-Fi Rush, but I just wanted something kind of smaller, even smaller than Hi-Fi Rush.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. It is what, $20 or something? Like, I think it's very, very good. I think it's a little steep price-wise for what I would pay for it, but like a decent sale for like $10 or something, I think it's a fantastic buy. I really enjoy it, but I don't know that I would spend $20 on it myself, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I got a code for it, so
I did too.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little cooler on it than you, so I probably also would not spend $20 on it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Do you want to just talk about space for the Unbound?
Sure. Yeah. This is a really cool adventure game, heavy on the narrative, a really nice looking pixel art style.
I've been interested in this one, so yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing a lot of people talk about it. It sounds like I at the beginning of chapter 3, I believe there's 5 chapters.
Okay.
And for everyone that I've been hearing has been saying, like, yeah, the narrative is great and it really sticks the landing. I'm enjoying what I've seen so far of the narrative, so I'm glad to hear that it's going to be strong the whole way through.
Sure.
I don't want to say too much about it because it's kind of crazy, but like you are a boy, like a high school boy. Um, this is an Indonesian developer. You're in Indonesia in the 90s, and you have the ability to like jump into people's minds, Psychonauts style.
Okay. Cool.
Um, and that's not the like main thing you're doing. You're not just like jumping from main person to person, but every now and then someone, like there'll be a few people in each chapter that are like going crazy or super angry for whatever reason, and you need to kind of like figure out what's wrong with them. So you jump in their mind and you do some adventure game kind of stuff. It's a lot of like, oh, this person needs this item, but to get this item, I need to trade this item. So it's a lot of kind of running around, trading the items, figuring out, okay, well, how can I get these to bring it to this person, to get this thing to bring it to that person. That's the like very kind of like black and white breakdown of it. It's an adventure game, but the writing is real strong. The characters are really cool. Not only can you like jump in people's minds, but it's hard to even tell like what it is reality and who's the good person. I don't know. It's teen drama. Someone can like stop time or reverse time. The game gets dark. I will say that.
Sure.
It starts off with a warning of like self-harm and suicide.
Sure.
Has some trigger warnings at the beginning. Um, I don't even know if the main character's alive because in the prologue they drown or they don't drown because then they get turned into a light orb in the sky. So I'm not exactly sure
Classic.
what is real and what isn't. But it's pretty enjoyable. I'm loving the look of it. It's got some fun references. It has a mock Phoenix Wright court battle that I just did, where I
Okay.
literally had to contradict what the person said with the evidence, and so that's always a fun thing for me. If you like visual novels, you'll probably be pretty into this. That's a space for the Unbound.
So, did you play the prologue before the actual game? Then?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Oh, you have to. Okay. Gotcha.
Like the first thing you play is the prologue, and then it starts
No, there's
chapter
two
1 after
different
that.
things. There's Space for the Unbound prologue, which is free, and then there's the actual game.
Oh, on Xbox, there's not two different things. It's all
Gotcha.
in one. So
Okay. I might try the
don't know,
prologue out to see if I
you might
vibe.
yeah, you might as well play the prologue's like maybe 30 minutes, not even. So.
Okay. Yeah, I might do that.
The other chapters are probably like 2 hours each.
Oh,
the
wow.
Prologue is short.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
The How Long to Beat had it at like 10 hours.
I was going to say, so like by your estimation, maybe 10 hours ish.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's not so bad, honestly. I kind of thought this might be one of those like 20 to 30 hour things. Like it looks like it could be long depending.
Nope.
Okay.
But yeah, I think one of the strong points is the visuals. I think it has a really nice looking art like pixel art style. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Cool. All right. I have a list of stuff that I played. Yeah, I'll just talk about the ones that I thought were particularly interesting that maybe haven't been talked about like at all, or whatever. If you like Metroidvania stuff, a game called Rusted Moss, kind of cool, kind of basic like art style and whatnot. But the thing that got me is that it has this weird grapple hook mechanic that like you use to swing around, but it also kind of acts as a bungee and a way to like move in the air in some ways. And it's kind of, look, it's not great. It's kind of janky, but it's interesting and kind of like engaging in a way, because even if you fall on spikes or whatever because of the grapple hook, you'll just like spawn immediately where you died, like on the ledge, so you can try the jump again. And I just found it pretty fun.
Sure.
So Rusted Moss was that what that was called, and it just kind of has a cool aesthetic to it overall. It seems
and I'm
like
looking at this like bungee jumping. This looks like it could get hard.
Yes, exactly.
Like
it wasn't it wasn't easy.
I can imagine that they're not going to make you do like really hard stuff for like the main campaign, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some challenge rooms where you got to get like really good at how to fling yourself around.
There was like even like a power up or a secret area or whatever that to get to it, I had to like fall a specific amount and then bungee up and then like grab myself on the top on like a ledge or whatever. Yeah, I could see it definitely getting crazy at some point. In regards to just like another Metroidvania that might be worth checking out, After Image was pretty good. I think this was the Modus one. It honestly, it's all about the visual style. It's just a really, it reminds me of Sundered a little bit, like a really crisp, clean, animated background and character models and stuff, and just very, very pretty, very Ori-like. I won't say it's as far as Ori in like its quality, but it's pretty close. So I thought that was just a really pretty game.
Yeah.
A Sister's Journey is like if Celeste was a Metroidvania and Madeline had a gun. There's like some combat stuff in it. It's hard platforming, and like that game is interesting in how like you could take two things that are normally very cool apart from each other. Putting them together kind of feels like it ruins the pacing of either.
This looks so much like Celeste.
It's very Celeste. The problem is, the thing about Celeste that was very good is those levels flowed really, really nice. Where these levels do not. They're, from what I've played in the demo, because there's a lot of stopping and puzzle platforming, and like combat.
They're not like,
it's not the same.
They're not like screens, right? They're like much bigger.
Yes, exactly. Which, I don't know. The thing is that, again, it's called A Sister's Journey in case people want to check it out. The thing about it is that I didn't think it was necessarily bad, but I don't know how much I would want to like how long I would want to play it, just because it felt weird. It's hard to explain, but it's just weird.
It's pretty. Like it looks.
Yeah,
it's
really
cool
nice
looking. Yeah.
Like you said, it's extremely Celeste. Like
it looks like if they took Celeste and like, what if everything was like glowing?
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yep. And what if she had a gun and you can upgrade that gun? So that's in there.
Yeah, then it would definitely not be Celeste. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just seeing if there's. I played God of Rock, which is the fighting game rhythm game, because I apparently can't get away from rhythm games at all. This is you have two characters on the screen, like a fighting game, but all of your inputs are Guitar Hero-esque, and you push a button when it comes up. And it's definitely not for me. Like, I didn't enjoy it that much. I think it is for like a certain type of person. The thing that I found cool about it, or interesting, is that fighting against an enemy, some of like the special attacks that you put in like a fighting game, like you'll get special meter by doing well on the rhythm part, and you can use that special meter to put in like quarter circle forward X, or I guess RT is the button for special moves, and like depending on the character they'll do like a special kick or a fireball or something like that.
What are you pressing to input? Because some of these note tracks have so many notes.
Yeah, you use the stick to input that stuff, but otherwise, the problem is that it's a little frantic in that you are consistently trying to keep up with the note track. You're not getting to see the cool fighting animations because you're so focused on not fucking up the note tracks. Because if you fuck up a note and your opponent doesn't, that's what like you take damage from. So the whole time, if you're both doing perfectly, you're kind of like parrying each other, is how the fighting game part goes.
Okay.
What I found kind of interesting though is that I don't know if this was a character-based thing or if it's all of them, but I put the AI on extreme difficulty to see like how badly you could get messed up in this game. And I don't know if it was a character or something, but there was a special move that every time he did it, it would like add fake notes to my track to fuck up my rhythm and like my brain, basically. And I thought that was kind of an interesting way to play with like this concept of the fight. I'm trying to pay attention to what buttons I'm supposed to push, and all of a sudden this dude just put 2 other buttons that are fake on the track at the same time.
Rhythm Sprout does that.
Yes, it does.
There's traps you have to avoid. You know what else does that?
The Rock Band
Rock
game.
Revolution.
Revolution.
Konami game.
The poison
notes.
Yeah.
So they took that from Konami's Rock Revolution.
Yeah. Again, God of Rock, it is so not really my thing, but I know that like I should talk about it because it's probably somebody out there's thing.
I'm so curious if they'll support guitar controllers.
If they do, I would try it again with that because for some reason that just makes more sense in my brain than pushing some of these button combinations.
Although I don't know if those controllers plug into a PC natively or if you have to like mod it somehow.
Well, I could probably Bluetooth it, right?
Well, and I mean, the wired ones will some of them will have USB, so they'll definitely plug into a computer. I just don't know if they'll work with the computer because there was no official like PC Guitar Hero, right, or Rock Band.
Right, but there's a ton of the.
I'm sure there's a ton of third parties.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
But then you're asking this developer to like support a like third party thing that is using the controller. So like, why would they go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. The last one I'll talk about whatever. The second last one I'll talk about is called Bramble, the Mountain King. And this was on one of some live stream we watched. Yeah. This is think Germanic folklore thing meets like an inside side scrolling adventure type game or whatever. It's super cool actually. It looks very, very nice. It has some of the best grass and moss textures I've seen in a video game, which makes sense because you're small in this demo and you're like running through it. But it has some like cool horror parts as well that feels Little Nightmares-esque where like an enemy is trying to kill me and I'm having to hide behind rocks or fallen branches and stuff to ensure I don't get killed by one of his attacks, or running away from him while he's slowly crawling at me through the mud or whatever. Like, it's cool. It's such a cool game. And I hope that one does well because I really, really like folklore stuff that I'm not very familiar with, like Celtic, Germanic folklore. I don't know very well in the way that I know some other folklore stuff that's more popular. So I love to see that sort of thing.
Steam is telling me this game in the more like this category, it has God of War. Is this kind of like God of War?
No, it's absolutely not. From what I can tell.
Is it kind of like Sonic Frontiers?
Yeah, but I mean, what isn't, right?
Yeah, okay. But is it kind of like Uncharted, like the Legacy of Thieves collection?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's more like Uncharted than God of War, I'll say that.
Well, God of War is the first one, so I have to, like, apparently it's like God of War, it's like Silent Hill 2?
It might be scarier than Silent Hill 2 from the little bit I played.
Would you say it's kind of like Death Stranding?
Yeah, it's probably the most like Death Stranding. Because you're running.
Well, then this thing is pretty accurate, I guess, then.
Yeah. The last game I'll talk about is the one that's no shock. It's System Shock. Like, of course I was going to play this so far. Yeah, man, like, if you wanted to play System Shock and like you missed it, like I never finished that game, the original System Shock 2. So I'm all in on playing this and kind of experiencing that in full. That demo is fantastic, but it just made me want the game. So it did its job and made me crave that thing. Runs beautifully on PC at least. And yeah, I just think that thing is super cool and I can't wait for more of it. I didn't have like a whole lot to say that's interesting about it. It's just like that thing exists and it seems to run pretty good and is pretty cool. So that's exciting to me.
Has you hopeful? It
has me hopeful. So I think I played 15 or 16 out of the 30 demos that I've downloaded. So I have more to go to. But
it sounds like there's hundreds of demos to download.
Oh, yeah. I only downloaded the ones that, first of all, I knew that I wanted to try out, and then a bunch that looked cool. I mean, like, one of the ones that I downloaded is the Case of Benedict Fox, or whatever. Like, obviously, I
Last
want to
Case
try
of Benedict
the
Fox.
last case
Yeah.
of Benedict Fox. Like, obviously, I wanted to play that.
Well, true fans of The Last Case of Benedict Fox only play it in front of Reggie Fils-Aimé while a bunch of people are watching.
No,
And
that's
it's
only
real
people that
awesome.
live in San Francisco
Yeah.
or like LA, I guess.
That's
Probably.
that's the real way to play Last
True.
Case of Benedict Fox.
Yeah, true. And Gestalt Steam and Cinder, which is a game I know John is excited for. Yeah, so there's still more things I need to play. I guess if any listeners have suggestions before this thing's off, hit me up and I guess I'll take a look at them, because why not? I like playing these demos and I like going through them. So,
Cool.
Yeah. That's all I've been doing, though.
All right, well, let's talk about some news.
Yeah.
It's all Nintendo this week. Of course, we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct. Probably one of the best directs in quite a while, in my opinion.
It was definitely the holy shit, that's back or that still exists direct. Yeah.
I was definitely excited. There was moments of this direct where I was cheering. One point I almost fell out of my seat. I was so shocked and excited.
And yeah,
I have this Kotaku article. They decided to put it in order of things that this writer is excited about, as opposed to chronologically.
oh, I hate that.
Thanks a lot to that, but we'll just go through this person's ranking of them.
Sure.
Starting with Metroid Prime Remastered.
Yeah, I don't care about this that much, but it's cool that it exists. Like, why not?
It is cool. I'm surprised it's not the trilogy and that they're going to make people pay $120 for these 3 games.
I was also kind of surprised. The thing that gets me excited is that I might maybe pick this up, rip it to my PC, and play it in an emulator with keyboard and mouse, because the remaster looks pretty good.
Then have a better running one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could play the Dolphin one, but this one looks better. Like, I've seen side-by-sides, and it just looks like the better one.
People seem very happy with this version of it.
It looks good.
Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp resurfaced.
Yes.
And it is coming out April 21st. I guess we are far enough away from the war in Ukraine.
As long as China chills out and whatever, we might be good.
Nathan's prediction, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious why they chose April 21st, since, as we understand, this game is finished. So what do they need another couple months for? But I guess it's just the release schedule they need stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
April 21st. Looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah.
Samba de Amigo Party Central.
I mean, this was the first one that I was like, holy shit, Samba? What the hell?
So it's coming back. You can use the Joy-Cons to shake them like maracas. It's coming out this summer.
Yeah.
You excited? You gonna get Samba de Amigo?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get this. What I'm kind of hoping for is a special edition with little mini maracas.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I don't think they do that. They definitely don't do it as much as they did for the Wii. I'm just wondering if they've done it at all for the Switch. They do have Mario Kart little wheels that you can put the Joy-Cons in, similar to the Wiimote for Mario, but I haven't seen a ton of those. Then again, I don't spend a lot of time in like Walmarts compared to what I did when the Wii was out. So
yeah, fair.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. They showed more of that. I don't really like that Kirby game, but I did play it. That's the Wii one.
I think it's kind of cool that they're adding like Magolor's Lost Magic or whatever the fuck, his like epilogue adventure of him trying to get his mojo back. Why not?
Yeah, that's typically what they do whenever they kind of port these, is they add a funky mode.
Yes.
Or something else. But yeah. Bayonetta Origins, they showed more of that. I believe previews of this came out earlier in the week. They were surprisingly positive, which shocked me.
I'm still like, even more so after seeing this, I'm still of the opinion that this was another game that they threw Bayonetta's name on to sell it.
Right. So that had me thinking like it's probably going to be kind of mediocre, but they're trying to sell more with Bayonetta. So when the previews came out being positive, that's why I was.
It's kind of interesting. Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of random anime stuff, including Master Detective Archives Rain Code. I don't even remember which anime thing this one was.
This was Danganronpa with different detectives with powers that you can solve mysteries.
Okay. That's coming at some point. Disney Illusion Island. I thought this actually looked pretty nice.
This art style is cool. Yep, I like it.
It reminded me a lot of
DuckTales.
I was gonna say the Rayman, the last couple of Rayman
Sure.
games. Those platformers. It
Sure.
reminded me of that a lot. Only local multiplayer, so thanks a lot.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. It's 2023. What are you doing?
Yep.
They showed some Pikmin 4. There's like a dog thing now.
Yeah, I'm still pass on Pikmin, so I didn't care about that myself.
Obviously, they finished off with Zelda. I'm surprised Zelda's not at the top of this list. How did this person categorize this list? Okay, anyway. They showed more of Zelda. They gave it a release date. That's probably the big thing, which they did not mention in this article.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't actually remember it. Let me quickly look.
May 14th. It's going to be at the end of this
May
trailer.
12th.
May 12th. There we go.
Yeah.
Who wrote this? John Walker.
Oh, shit, on blast. Feel free to come on and to defend yourself.
They put the other release dates for these games and then didn't put the Zelda one.
Absolutely. Just, yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Expansion Pass Volume 3. What are your thoughts, Paul?
One day I would like to play one of these and just kind of see what... I think the combat has always looked like something I would vibe with. So maybe one day. This I don't care about, obviously.
Yeah. I'm happy for the people in this.
Yeah.
Fashion Dreamer.
This is 100% not for me, but I was thinking to myself while watching it, like, you know what? It's cool that we live in an era where there is something that is just so not for middle-aged white guy in a game thing. That's cool.
Sure. I'll read the quote here. Suggest new outfits for them to grow as an influencer.
Gross.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. We saw Tron Identity. That's the visual novel from Mike Bithel's studio in the Tron universe.
I'm not interested at all in this myself.
I'm very interested in. I'm a big fan of Mike Bithell. And Tron is cool.
Tron's
we're getting a new Tron movie with Jared Leto.
Great. Jared Leto's never done a bad movie, so I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah. More importantly, Ghost Trick coming to the Switch. It's actually coming to everything.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I think it might be time for me finally to go back and play through Ghost Trick, as I've forgotten most of that story, except for like the big reveal at the end. I think it's time. I think I'm going to do it.
I did say that, oh, maybe I'll finally finish it now, and I've been told, like, we're going to hold you to that. So, now there we go.
All I'm saying is they took this. It's the best DS game. Ghost Trick is the best DS game. I will fight anyone on that.
Regular DS? I'd have to see a list, but I don't know, maybe.
Well, the way you worded that makes me think that there's a 3DS game that you're just like super fan of. There's no way it could pass that.
No, I think there's a lot more better games than Ghost Trick, but just in general. So I just don't know if they're on the DS.
I think it's the best DS game, easily. Okay. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. We got a release date for that, which this person did not include. So I got to scrub through this trailer once again.
Oh.
March 6th.
Okay, yeah. I knew it was close. I mean, this looks great. This looks exactly like what I wanted. What it does, what it says it does on the tin. So, cool.
They didn't put the release date of Ghost Trick either. Also, this video, is this just an old video or is this the new one?
Summer 2023 is what it says.
Oh, okay.
The video, I mean.
All right. Deca Police. I thought this actually looked kind of cool. This was another one of the like many anime games.
This was cute. Yep. I thought it was cute.
This looked pretty cool, and then they put in like combat mechanics, and I was like, oh, this game's gonna be like 40 hours long.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
There's more Splatoon coming.
Yeah, I don't care about that either.
I thought this was pretty silly because there's an expansion pass, and the first part of the expansion pass is they're bringing the Splatoon 1 city, and you can now go there. And then they mention that all the stores in there sell the same stuff as the stores in the regular city.
Yeah.
So what are you getting?
Well, that's the thing, is that like it sounds like it's a nostalgia wave, and I didn't have that, so I don't care about this at all.
Like, you're just gonna go over there to just like stand there and like look at the city?
Yeah, I think
That's the
so.
worst. They teased further parts of the expansion that seem like there's some like story content coming. That seems a little.
I'm interested to see what that is. Yeah, that got me a little bit more. Oh, okay.
Fire Emblem Engage has an expansion pass. Of course it does.
Yep.
That's a good game. Harmony: The Fall of Reverie. I don't really remember this one.
This was the weird one where you just make a bunch of choices and like you side with like they're like personified ideals like power and chaos or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
It seemed very visual novel. Like that's all it is a visual novel. So I don't know. It could be good, maybe.
Octopath Traveler 2, they announced a demo. I think the demo's out now, and like the first one, the demo progress will carry over.
Mm-hmm.
We Heart Katamari was announced. A port of that is coming.
Yeah.
The Etrian Odyssey collection was announced. Sea of Stars got a release date that this person did not mention. Go to the back of this trailer. Oh, is it not in the trailer either? Oh, here we go. No, August 29th.
Man, it seems like the easiest part of writing the article is put like the one thing you should put is probably that.
Yeah, or like, you know, any of the information you have. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't work for Kotaku. Omega Strikers. This was what is that frisbee game?
I mean, this is air hockey, basically, or Windjammers. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
this has been out for a while.
This is air hockey, but visually and I would assume mechanically, it's Windjammers.
This has been out for a long time. It's just coming to Switch. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this has been out on PC as before. Yeah. Okay, some more exciting stuff. Switch got Game Boy and Game Boy Advance is now part of the Switch Online service.
Why is that so low down here? I thought that was pretty big, but I guess this person doesn't care.
There's a lot of questionable things about this.
It's under the fashion game, so like by a lot.
Yeah, I don't. So Game Boy is part of like the standard Switch Online service, and Game Boy Advance games are part of the. What is it called? The Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion
Pass or something. Yeah.
Whatever that
expansion
horrible
pack,
name is.
I think. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a great name. They're starting with a lot of games you're excited for. Golden Sun's there. Hell yeah. Minish Cap.
I've never played
Tetris.
Minish Cap. Now I could.
Minish Cap is good. Yeah. It seems like with the Game Boy, you can switch between like Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color aesthetics. So that's kind of nice.
That's cool. Yep.
WarioWare's there. Pretty much most of the ones you'd want. So that's great. That's a great feature. I would love to just buy some of these.
Oh yeah, sure.
And not have to subscribe.
Yeah.
Similar to like Apple Arcade. Apple Arcade's getting a lot of cool stuff, and it's like can I just like buy it? I would just like to buy it. I wish there was an option there as well, but we live in a subscription-based world now, so I should just shut up.
True.
There's a new Fantasy Life coming.
Yeah. I didn't play original.
I just don't care about Fantasy Life games. Okay, the most important one, hit the ball. Professor Layton is back. Yeah, he's back. It's not Catriel. It's not his weird brother that was on the iPad one. Professor Layton and Luke are coming back. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. Holy smokes, I'm so excited. Give me my matchstick games. That's what I want those. I want those puzzles. Yes. Hell yeah. I'm so glad.
Can we say that this is also on this list one of the last things that they put?
It is one of the last things, which... I mean, I get it.
Yeah, because they didn't actually announce anything except that it's back. Like...
Yeah, so, and there's like the video is like 20 seconds long. They did nothing about it, but I'm just so glad that they didn't like decide we're done. They're going back to what they should be doing, making more Professor Layton games. Hell yeah! I hope it's a trilogy. Let's go. Mario Kart. They talked about the next wave for the expansion there.
Yep.
Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD remaster, the GameCube games.
Yeah, that was the other like. Wow, really? Holy shit.
Someone's asking me how would I feel if the two Layton characters who kind of suck were in that game. It's fine if they show up. I want Professor Layton, capital P, capital L. I want him there, sword fighting, being a classy gentleman, solving murders. So, yeah, that's who I want.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway. It was a good direct. I thought it was a really good direct. Something for everyone in there. A lot of exciting things. A lot of surprises we didn't see coming.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
And this next news story, another Nintendo one, is I'll just read the title here. Nintendo announces 10% pay raise for devs despite lower profits. It sounds like this is just going to be a Japanese-based thing at the moment.
Yes. Yep.
I think this is cool, considering every week we talk on this show about developers just kind of getting the shaft, and we have something nice to point towards for once. What's extra cool about it is Nintendo announced a 20% Switch sales drop in its latest financial report, but still plans to institute a 10% pay raise. That's very cool on them. It does sound like a lot of this is being kind of forced upon them due to the government. It sounds like Japan is getting hit pretty hard.
Yeah, other companies have done this as well.
With their inflation and with the economy going on in Japan. So it sounds like the government is kind of mandating a lot of companies are doing this for their employees.
Yeah.
Still just it's good to see. They're doing poorly. And this is not the first time Nintendo has done something kind of cool like this. Amongst all of the we're hearing about layoffs so much these days. I saw like a tweet going around where they reminded us like back in 2008 Iwata like cut his salary in half because they were performing poorly. Like that's just cool. You don't see that ever.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because theoretically that's the way it should always go.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely, like
yeah, it just sucks that it doesn't.
Yeah, that's capitalism for you, baby. But anyways, let's champion Nintendo. 10% for their Japanese staff at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to read this part of the... Sorry. I thought you were done and we're off by a few seconds. I'm going to read this part of the article as well. It's worth noting other Japanese publishers also did this. Capcom instituted average across the board raises of 30% last year, and Bandai Namco increased monthly pay by an average of $435 per employee. So, yeah, I hope we see more news like this.
Yeah, I would say don't hold your breath. Like I said, the government had to get involved for this one, so...
Yeah.
That's going to do it for the news this week. So let's do some questions. If you want to send in some questions, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. And this first one comes from Sukusuku, who writes, what direction do you think of when I say X button?
Bottom. Like down, I guess.
I do also think that, despite Xbox being my primary console, which in that case it would be, left? I think it's left, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I have one right in front of me. What am I doing? It's left. Yes, it is left. Why is it top? But for some reason, I still think about it down. And I don't use my PlayStation nearly as much, but I don't know.
Interesting.
Yep. Here's a bonus one.
Yeah.
Where's A?
Down.
Absolutely down.
Yeah.
And it's weird on Nintendo. It's not, despite them having it like first. I don't care.
It is weird because I guess I never really thought of the buttons. Were there like as many QuickTime events on the SNES? Like in games?
I mean, probably not, but still, like, well, I guess for them it would have been reading right to left, so it made sense. B.
Yeah.
For us, left to right, B, A. No, like, no.
It's just weird that, like, I grew up with Nintendo systems and it didn't imprint on me, like, at all. And I'm wondering if it's because there wasn't a lot of games on the screen that would be like, rapidly make sure you could do, like, X, then A, then Y, then B, like, or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know how we're gonna do this next one.
Yeah, this next one is somewhat visual from Rasterman. He says, this is from mid last year, but just now I've seen it pop around. What's your indie game variety score according to this template? Is this actually 100 games? I guess it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, okay, there's actually 99 games. They pointed out that Slay the Spire's on there twice
oh,
somehow.
sure.
Um,
Which of these indie games have you played? 1 point per box checked. Um, Listen, I can't just sit here and count in a podcast. I'm going to say I've easily probably played 80 of these. Like, there's probably 20 I haven't. I won't say I've beaten 80 of them, but I play a lot of games.
That's true. Like, if I played less than an hour, does it still count as I've played it? If I have booted it up,
Less than an hour, I would say, well, it depends on the game.
depends on the game.
Because FTL, if you did one run that's half an hour, I would say you played it probably.
If I've booted it up, does that count?
I think you had to have played probably some of it. Like, if there was a tutorial, you had to at least get through that.
I'm just trying to think of it, because I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I want to say when I looked at some of these, it was like, oh, yeah, I loaded it up, but I didn't actually start it yet.
Oh, I see. No, I wouldn't count that then if you haven't really started it.
But I'm trying to think, why did I say that? And I'm trying to see if there was an example on here where I did do that. And
actually, you know what? There is an easy way I can do this. I'll count the ones I haven't done and then subtract it. Like at all.
This is the worst podcasting stuff. We're just sitting there going like 1, 2.
I know,
3.
man. I know. There.
I'm just gonna read the next question.
Yeah. Okay.
Phantom Aegis writes, "What is your favorite European cuisine? I suggest to not say the most common answer, Italian cuisine, but it's merely a suggestion."
I mean, okay. If I think hardest about it, it might not even be Italian because I'm not a giant pasta fan. Is the thing.
Oh man. Well,
so
pizza's Italian. No, wait. Pizza?
I don't know if it is, but even if it is, I'm not a giant pizza fan. I just get it because it's
Italy.
easy.
Pizza's Italy. So yeah,
yeah,
Italian.
yeah.
See, I think that's part of the reason is like pasta. Like everyone likes pasta. Like
no,
it's just
I don't
like,
really. Though.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a big fan of pasta.
Oh wow. Okay. Like I feel like much like pizza, it's like everyone likes pizza. Like it's hard to really screw it up that bad. And
like the thing is,
you just got to cover it in cheese.
If you're gonna give me an option for stuff, I won't usually choose pizza, but like I like pizza if somebody will order it. So like I'm overall not huge into Italian stuff, I guess. Just in general. Like probably Spain, because it's closest to what I grew up eating. A lot of like Spanish, Mexican type cuisine.
Oh, I see. Okay. I like Greek food a lot.
Greek food is great. That's a good choice, actually.
I do like Greek food a lot. I'm just trying to see like what are these other countries so I can kind of figure out some of their dishes.
Is there like an obvious one that we're not thinking? That's like
it's Italian. That's like that's the obvious one for sure.
It is. You're right.
Some of these are just like a joke, like England with fish and chips. No.
Yeah, the thing is that the really English dishes, I'm not a fan of either. Like the ones that are like direct from there. Like I don't like blood pudding. I'm just not a fan of it. Or bangers and mash.
Scotland. I do like the very sausage based meals of Germany.
Oh, Germany. Yeah, German food is great actually. That's a good one.
If I was going to go like nostalgia bit, it might have to go France because my mom cooks a lot of French stuff because of her descent, but
yeah, I mean a lot of just foods that we eat all the time here originate from France. That's a good answer, honestly.
I mean, you go Poland, you get pierogies.
Yeah, I could take or leave a pierogi. I'm never like chomping at the bit for one, but they're okay.
Pierogies are so good, and I went to there was a bar near my college that would do a pierogi night where it was pretty much nachos but pierogies. and holy smokes, that is so good.
Sure, that sounds good.
I'm probably just doing the easy one, like Italian. Like pasta's delicious, pizza's. I can eat pizza whenever, so I'm doing yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And in the chat, yeah, I'm also getting quite hungry from this.
I
And I've
know,
already brushed
dude.
my teeth, so this is not great. My mouth is watering.
There's about 10 or 11 that I haven't played off this list. So,
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Did you bother?
Games like Slime Rancher, I probably played 10 minutes of it and went, I don't think this is for me. Does that count?
I'll count it, but that's one of the ones I haven't played, so I don't know. I'll count it though. Sure, you could count that. Okay, I'm
probably less than that. Like I've probably played less than 90, but not by too much. 80 is probably pretty close.
Yeah, right.
I'm probably somewhere around 70 to 80, just kind of generally looking through this.
Sure.
Some of these I've never even heard of. Yuppie Psycho?
Yeah, I've been meaning to play Yuppie Psycho for a while, actually, but I never got around to it. Is that, like, really long? Does anybody... This is probably not the time for that. For me, it's, like, Coffee Talk I haven't played. I don't even know what Behind the Frame is.
Coffee Talk rocks. I am so excited for Coffee Talk episode 2.
I haven't played Frog Detective.
You should play Frog Detective.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that it's very, very good. I haven't played Yuppie Psycho. That was another one. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot on here that, like, I will say, the question is, how many have you heard of? All of them except for one, and that's, I literally don't know what Behind the Frame is. In fact, I'm going to look it up right now.
There's a few of these. Yume Nikki?
Yume Nikki, yeah. That's a RPG Maker horror type thing.
Helltaker? Haven't heard of that either.
Behind the Frame game. Yeah, I've never heard of that one. Yeah, I don't think I've ever even seen this before.
I also don't know what Behind the Frame is.
10 out of 10 on Steam. Apparently I should know what it is because people like it, but whatever.
Oh, I have heard of this.
Okay, I still haven't, I don't think.
I have seen this before. I think I've looked it up on like iOS a few times.
Yeah. His bonus question.
There's no FMV games on this.
It's a good point.
This is a little biased, man. Like,
it's
a whole genre that this person decided to ignore.
Yep, true.
But
he does have the bonus
platformers.
He does have the bonus question of how many of the ones that you've missed do you own? That's kind of interesting because I think I own a good portion of them. I just haven't played them. At least I'm
trying to think, like, how would I have played them? But it's probably Game Pass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you put Game Pass in there, I probably own...
I feel like most of these ones, though, I do own. I'm trying to think, like, which ones are just Game Pass for me, and it's...
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think I own most of the ones that I've played.
Do you think that, like, John's not here to weigh in on this, do you think out of the three of us, we have a perfect 100 out of 100, like, you know, for TDP score?
I don't think so, because I don't think John would actually be that helpful.
Oh, okay.
I bet his number is the lowest for us. And based on the ones that we don't know of, I highly don't think he knows those ones. Like, Behind the Frame, John's never playing Behind the Frame. That looks like a very me game. Like, that looks super, like, visual.
Yeah, it does look like a U game.
Kind of sad narrative, you know?
It does look like a U game. That's true.
Yeah.
The animation style is kind of sick, though. Like, it's neat looking. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, like, collectively we have, like, a 98 or 97 or something. I think we're probably high, but...
I really don't think John is helping out. Like, I would be shocked if John has played any of these that you or I haven't.
Oh, I don't know if I would be shocked necessarily about that, but...
Like what could possibly be it? Like, at this point, you're basically looking at your list, because you're going to have more than I am.
Well...
What game do you think that you haven't played do you think John has?
Keep in mind, he also does the fortune cookie stuff, so he's probably, like, touched a bunch of these for a while.
Maybe. I'm just saying, if I was a betting man, I bet he would not help out.
Okay. He might. I could see him playing Yuppie Psycho. Honestly, I could see John trying that game out.
I'll take your word for it because I don't know a thing about that. So maybe.
Okay. Yeah. It's an interesting question. This is just a really hard one for an audio podcast because it's a giant list. So, okay. Next question's from Dead. Some shows and movies are not for you, and that's okay. It's a quality product that isn't your taste, but if it's nobody's taste, is it still quality? Feel free to settle on a certain percentage threshold of nicheness if you think such breaking point exists.
Okay, I guess the question is there a show or movie in a hypothetical scenario that can be made that no one enjoys?
Right, because in theory, the people that are working on it, specifically whoever's vision it is, probably enjoy some part of it just from the
Because I mean, if it's going on like a network, someone has to greenlight it.
Yeah.
So someone is looking at like financials and goes, okay, yes, if there's a white guy in the lead and there's like a hot chick, then this number of people are probably going to be into it. So yes, someone's going to enjoy these aspects of it,
right?
Based on our algorithm, blah 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 blah. Space Jam 2,
right?
That's the entire point of Space Jam 2. So those ones, of course, someone will enjoy it. So you have to get like real niche, like a dude in his basement making a movie. And unless he's making a movie that he hates, and like that's the form of art, but in that point, is he enjoying it because his vision is to hate it?
Right.
So it's supposed to make like
right. And then like it's this weird thing too, the Ouroboros type thing of like if he hates it enough, he likes that he did a good job on it, which means he somewhat likes it.
Okay, so then what if it's like a Blair Witch thing where it's but it's real. So it's found footage. So no one was planning to make a movie.
Of somebody getting murdered, basically? Those probably exist, unfortunately.
Well, I guess like let's assume, let's say the Blair Witch was real.
Okay.
The person who likes it was whoever found the footage and was like, I'm going to make a movie. Yeah, this is really scary. I like what I made.
Uh-huh.
So that already disqualifies it.
Right.
But then like what if someone didn't edit that footage and they just took that footage and viewed it?
Right. So the police find a murder tape. Is that even a movie now?
well, no. Well, I mean, at this point, who knows what the definition of movie is, right?
Sure.
We have to just break it down to something caught on something recorded, right?
Sure.
But in that scenario, would the person who recorded it like it because that they wanted to record it?
Right. Okay.
So we're gonna disqualify that. Here's another scenario. Okay. What if you had just like a Ring, like outdoor security system, and it sensed movement, so it recorded the movement?
Yeah. This happens I've seen so many videos of people just walking by because people uploaded their like dumb home security thing.
Right. So in this scenario, no one is choosing to record this. It is happening on a sensor. So I think that would count.
Is it quality?
Well, I think this is a scenario where you can say no one likes this footage.
Nobody actually cares about it in any way, I guess. I don't think people hate it necessarily either.
Because I guess you could say the person who set up the camera, they like that it caught it because it's working. So then what it has to catch has to be bad. So as long as it catches like a death.
Right.
Or just something unappealing.
Like a car crash or something. Somebody crashed their car like in front of the house.
But would the person still be happy that the Ring camera turned on and worked properly?
I mean, I would be, because do you know how cool it is to see a car crash from like a Ring camera? You could put that on YouTube.
Okay, but so is there something that could trigger the camera that you would be like, I wish it didn't trigger. I'm not even happy that it worked. I just wish, like I don't know, like a leaf flying by, like it just like flickered on.
Yeah, because it's probably taking more energy or whatever than it's worth, so that sucks.
Maybe that's the one way you can make a show or a movie that no one likes.
It's nobody's taste. So is it quality, though?
I would say it's, well, no, I guess not.
Yeah, I guess not.
Well,
so the breaking point is...
In this scenario, nobody likes it, so is it quality?
So the breaking point for this nicheness is it actually has to be automated to a point where nobody actually has anything to gain or lose by owning it, watching it, or anything.
Yeah. The fact that it exists is not not positive in any way. Let
me throw this at you then to get really philosophical. If nobody nobody cares about it, nobody's filmed it, nobody's even like really watched it necessarily, does it exist?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is just the tree falls in the forest thing, right? Well, so let me twist this back into like, how could this actually work in real life? You have a security system that we've established that deletes itself every 24 hours to clear up space. No one's watched it. 24 hours has elapsed.
So it doesn't exist anymore.
That's how it actually could work.
Okay.
But then you can get into the whole like, well, we know it's working because it deleted itself. So I'm happy about that. I'm glad my machine. I'm glad the $200 I spent on this Ring security system is working.
Okay, to actually answer this question and not weirdly wax poetic about like if the
I think we did answer it. Like, yes, if someone will like it, and we needed to figure out a way to make sure no one liked it.
Right. So the answer is that it is. If it's to nobody's taste, there's still a quality to it. It's a very like art school answer of there's a quality to anything that is made depending on what it tried to do or whatever. I guess.
Or you have to qualify what qualities. Like,
yes, exactly. Because quality doesn't actually mean anything as a word.
Like, are you talking like visual quality, like narrative quality? Because like even in the Leaf scenario we set up, it's like, hey, it captured it in 1080p. That's right. That's high definition, baby.
Right. Yeah. You have to say what quality means because quality actually doesn't mean anything as just a word without some context.
Just I can almost assume the vibe of this question is like quality being like, did someone is this worth watching?
Right, which also doesn't mean anything because that is not an objective.
Well, in that scenario, we just set up a scenario where no one would find it worth watching.
Right, and that's the threshold.
Like you need a robot to like.
You basically need automation. Yeah.
You need an automate to view it and then delete it, and that's the end of it.
Right. Yeah.
VGC Kenny writes, "What games can you think of where your momentum was suddenly halted, and how did that affect your experience with the game?"
Oh.
I have a good one.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Tangle Tower, which was this Apple Arcade game that eventually came out on like every other platform.
Yeah.
Was a really great like detective, basically adventure game. I really enjoyed it. Good voice acting, well written, funny, looked great. But it got to a point to get to the last area, you had to like pixel hunt every single last thing in this entire like, mansion you were basically in. To the point where I was like, you didn't require me to do that the whole time, and now I'm missing one specific thing, and I have no idea where it is because there's no way of knowing like which areas I've totally scoured. I am not playing your game anymore. Like the way for me to move forward would be to basically play the entire game again with my fingers crossed. No.
I remember you talking about this, actually. Yeah, I do remember that. I was so bummed
because I was enjoying it so much.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, the easy answer that's just kind of an overarching one is any of the old RPGs where, like, you just literally couldn't kill a boss because you didn't do enough damage and now you have to grind. That sucks. That's always sucked.
Yeah. No, there's definitely been some Final Fantasy games where I got to the final boss and it was like, why don't you just get like at 7 more levels each? And it's like, because I have better things to do than 5 hours of grinding.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. Any of those flow state games where literally your momentum and flow state like are halted, that sucks. Like that the experience of the game then is how easily does it ease you back into the thing, and if it doesn't do that easily, then it's kind of a bummer.
Well, yes and no, because some of the games it's like, the draw of it is how long can I keep this going?
Right.
I got, I'm juggling this. How long can I keep it? Like I'm just on the edge of losing control, but I'm still hanging on, and that's crazy and fun.
Sure.
And yeah, so it's yes and no, but yeah, getting back into that is the best part of it. But maybe that's something to always try to like go for.
Sure.
I don't know.
What do you feel about games that like you're doing a main quest or whatever and you're really into it and oh my god, I gotta find like my sister who's been kidnapped and this is so intense and like she's gonna die in 24 hours if I don't find her, but this guy needs like 20 loaves of bread, so I think I'm gonna go farm for a bit and get that because he'll give me a cool thing. Like those side quests that ruin the flow.
Just kind of take you out of the narrative. I mean, as someone who's played enough video games, I kind of just like understand.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this isn't actually like super important. I can go do whatever, and then there will be a point of no return. But there are also games that will be like, no, the next 3 missions you have to do back to back because we need them to kind of narratively convey this little like mini arc we have going on. So that's fine too. I mean, I'm fine with either because like that's how video games work.
Yeah, sure. Waste of resources writes, what constitutes driving like an asshole? And I think that the answer is just selfishness, right?
But I was gonna say anything where you're kind of prioritizing yourself over the other people.
Yeah.
Or like dangerous driving.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I think kind of goes hand in hand because you're probably not.
Yeah, kind of.
I was gonna say you're probably not like making it dangerous for yourself, but you could absolutely be doing that as well.
Well, you're prioritizing enjoyment over responsibility in that case, so you're still like wrong priorities just in general.
Yeah, I think the main one is like selfishness is that's 9 times out of 10.
This reminds me, this is actually a question I've been pondering the last day or two, like on and off. When you turn down, like when you're about to turn onto a road where you can turn and you will get one lane, but other people going the opposite way can also turn down this road and they will get their own lane. Do you understand what I mean? Like there's the road you're going on has like 2 lanes wide. And if you're turning left, you can hug the inside lane. If they're turning right from the other direction, they can hug their inside lane, and you're both going down this road, right?
Okay.
When this happens, do you trust people enough that you will just keep driving if you two are both signaling and you're turning, that they won't like
wide turn
and hit you? Because there was a time for a long time when I was younger where I would trust it and just be like, well, if I get hit, then they're an idiot and I get like insurance money maybe and like we can go to court. And now as I'm older, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to risk dealing with any of this bullshit. I'll wait the extra second to see what they do.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a part of me growing up where it was just like, I have to trust that they're going to drive correctly.
Yeah.
And I have been shown people will not drive correctly.
Totally.
I had a cousin. This is a bit of a different scenario. He was at a stop sign and he wanted to turn right. Like he was exiting like a parking lot or whatever. He wanted to turn right. And someone was coming down towards him in his lane, signaling that they were going to turn into what he was turning out.
Right.
Okay. So they're signaling to the right. So he exits, starts turning. The person T-bones him.
Yeah. They forgot. They left their light on or something.
He got in trouble because he was at a stop sign.
Yes. Yep.
Which is insane.
It is insane. just more asshole driving things. If you're going to turn and you're not signaling, fuck you.
I feel
So
like if
like,
you're changing lanes and not signaling, like
sure,
signal. There you can't over signal.
agreed.
If you're planning to do something where a signal would work, signal.
Like, listen, even if you leave your signal on and you're not planning on changing over, if I see that signal, I'm going to give you room anyway. And like, I'll be annoyed that you forgot it on, but at least I won't be fucking dead. So just use your signals.
Yeah, people who don't use signal is crazy to me.
Oh, I don't know who needs to hear that, but fuck you if you're listening.
TC Golden writes, what would be a good video game you could turn into a musical?
BioShock.
Oh, yeah? Okay. What makes you say that?
I don't know. There's something operatic feeling about that game and how it progresses, especially with like kind of finding out who Atlas is later. And like, there's stuff about it that feels like you could do some cool musical numbers.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Operatic, I think, is a great word for that. I almost think like anything could turn into a musical.
Sure.
Because like any of the set pieces would be, I guess anything narrative. Because any of the set
Yep.
pieces would be these big, like momentous, like musical numbers, which would be cool.
Yep.
I don't think a Picross game as a musical would be very good. Or
Right.
like maybe you would get one song singing about how Picross works, and then I don't know how you make another song in that.
What about a
Um,
WarioWare game?
I mean, to be fair, the WarioWare games have a narrative. There's like a campaign mode to
Uh-huh.
get through it. Um, yeah, I mean, I could see that just with how crazy it is, you'd have a pretty like ridiculous kind of musical going on.
Yeah.
Um, I think as long as there's some kind of narrative, like why not? So,
Sure.
like, can you think of anything with a narrative that wouldn't fit?
Okay, that wouldn't.
Because it's also hard because when I think about these games, they have a soundtrack. So
Yep.
now it's just like, okay, and then what if someone was just like singing along to what is happening at this moment in the game
Right.
from a story standpoint? It's like, yeah, I think that, like this works, sure.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there have been stage plays made of games and stuff that are close enough. The Nier games, or Nier in general, has like a bunch of that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's got like the music right there for you.
Resident
So
Evil has
like,
a stage play that's canon.
oh man, okay.
Yeah. uh, I don't know that there is one where like narrative was. It has a strong narrative that wouldn't be doable, I will say.
Yeah. But I mean, to get a little closer to the question, they're asking a good one. So is there one that you would like want to see? Immediately the one that kind of came to my mind was Hi-Fi Rush because that's just on my brain at the moment.
Oh,
That game
rock
is just so
opera.
fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a rock opera would be very cool in that
Yeah.
scenario for sure.
Oh, that would be
Uh,
so sick.
maybe like I'm trying to think of like maybe the sadder narrative games. Maybe that just I don't know if that would be enjoyable. Like
Like Last of Us or something.
I could maybe see Last of Us because there's an element of like action and there's a lot of
Right.
not exactly politics, but like different characters vying for power and stuff. I could see that, but I was thinking more stuff like Gone Home,
Yeah, like weird meandering type, like walking
like
simulator games
slower
might be
stuff, like
hard.
what remains of Edith. Well, that one has like set pieces, so I get you could do a song for each person. But what about what's the one where you're in like the English small town? It has really slow walking speed, and everyone was upset about that.
Oh my god. Yeah, what the hell
With
was
like
that now?
with the light orbs.
It
What's the
was
name of
like one
that
of the
one?
first ones.
Well, it was definitely
It was
what was
very, very old. What the hell was that game now?
like yeah, like walking simulators. Maybe those wouldn't work very well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People saying Ace Attorney musical that would work perfectly.
Yeah,
Like absolutely, and that game's all almost any anime one or like RPG, which is very anime connected. Like there is already so much like emotion that they're putting in there, like hyper emotion that like, yeah, that would absolutely make sense. Everyone's gone to the Rapture. That's the game. Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that wouldn't work very well.
Yeah. It's funny because you said What Remains of Edith Finch, and that's like the one exception I think that of those that would work well.
Right. Well, yeah, because like each character that you come across, they like they have a whole unique art style and unique genre. Like that would work cool because it would be like, all right, now this one's hip hop and now this one's country music and now we're gonna do an opera for this one. Like that one would work. That would be a very cool one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Call of Duty the musical. Could you do? I mean,
You could, but I don't think that would be very good.
like I'm trying to think. I know those are basically just action movies. So
Yeah.
there is a narrative there, but and this is maybe more of a question for you. Is there enough interest in the narrative that is not just like shooting people?
Yeah, I mean there's probably enough. The problem is I don't think that's the strong points of those games, so I don't think it would translate well because the strong points of those games are the mechanical doing the thing or whatever. The story bits are tropey and kind of bad in a fun way. I don't know that I want to hear Soap singing. Like, I don't care about any of the dudes like singing about war or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the narrative's strong, because now I'm thinking like, okay, what about like a Spec Ops: The Line musical?
That would be more doable, I think, because that game is more of a narrative driven thing than the Call of Duty games.
And that one like it goes from like action movie to like, oh, this is like extremely upsetting.
Yeah.
And so you could hear the changes in the song. We're doing a very like low mellow song for this white phosphorus section, and yeah, maybe that would work.
I just looked up if there was a musical for Apocalypse Now because it would be very similar, I think, and there is not. So it might be something that could work.
All right. All right, that's going to do it for questions this week. Thank you for writing them in. If you would like to send in questions going forward, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Hi-Fi Rush.
I'm going to give it to A Space for the Unbound.
Nice.
Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.